Ronda fucking Rousey. Thank goodness for Ronda fucking Rousey, because if not for Ronda fucking Rousey, last night's Raw, just like every single week on Monday Night Raw, would have just been a pile of dog shit. The big dog shit! Because that's all Monday Night Raw is, continuously, week after week. It's like a merry-go-round. It never ends with the constant nonsensical, tragic entertainment. The nonsensical, confusing, mind-boggling bullshit that they feed us every week is like a merry-go-round. And it just doesn't stop for just 1 second for people to collect themselves, get their heads right and in order, and start creating entertaining, suspenseful content. Intriguing content. No! It's a merry-go-round. It doesn't fucking end. It doesn't stop. Bullshit segment after bullshit segment after bullshit segment until it's a tragic show after tragic show after tragic show. Ronda Rousey was the only saving grace last night on Monday Night Raw, and that's not saying a lot, but I'll start off this review with a positive outlook. I'll give you something positive from last night for those of you that click on the BC Amplified channel and you're looking for some positive feedback, something to get you interested for SummerSlam. Well, I can't do that, to be honest, because I'm not a miracle worker. I can't even get you interested for SummerSlam at this point. That's how fucking bad this shit is going. You thought the build and the actual event of Extreme Rules was bad. SummerSlam ain't that much better, if even. But I'll give you something good, right? Fucking, for those that are just here for positive shit. Obviously, you don't know the fucking Amplified, man, then. You're probably the people that aren't even subscribed. You just every morning, with your bowl of cereal and your orange juice, type in BC Amplified. Not even fucking subscribe because you can't handle a dose of fucking truth every day. But I'll give you your positivity. Ronda Rousey. That's it. In a nutshell. That was it. She was in the main event where she should have been. She was in real life selling fucking pay-per-views out for UFC. So obviously her first match in Monday Night Raw and for WWE one-on-one singles, she's gonna be in the main fucking event for Raw. So that's where she was. Of course, we would like a much more batter-ass opponent than Alicia Fox, but who are you gonna have? She already took on fucking Nia Jax. Mickie James is injured, probably because she was thrown around by Ronda Rousey 100 fucking times already. Alexa Bliss, she's taken on at SummerSlam. So that eliminates all of them. Ruby Riott and the fucking Riot Squad, they're all playing around with the fucking, the hugging lesbians over there. Who are they? Fucking Sasha Banks and Bayley. They're playing hugging best friends. Fuck the top spots. They're in a fucking tag team turmoil division. That tag team division is already starting off epic, eh? That's fucking more tragic than the men's tag division is now. That women's division is going to be 10 times more tragic. You watch. Look how it already is. Riot Squad versus Sasha and Bayley, week after week, month after month. That's all you're gonna get for the next fucking year. There ain't no other tag teams, and what are you gonna do? Create some? Are you gonna put Alicia Fox with Nia Jax? Mickie James and Alexa Bliss? Maybe send up 2 NXT stars? How many times can they all face each other? We're already seeing it now with the Wyatts and the B-Team and the Revival. Every week they're in some type of fucking shit together. But BC, that's the story. No, the story shouldn't be everybody just clutter up the ring every week and try to get people interested. To build a story, you do unique shit. You leave them away from each other. WWE has it ass backwards. To build a story, they just put all their superstars in the same ring together every week with the same matches. One-on-one, then they find tag team partners, then it's a handicap match, then it's back to one-on-one, or it's 2-on-2, then it's one-on-one, then it's back to 2-on-2, but it's the same people every week, and then it leads to a pay-per-view with the same people! So that's where Sasha and Bayley and the Riot Squad are all playing around over there with this fucking stupid tag team shit. You have nobody else for Ronda. You just have Alicia Fox. And for people that are really smart fans and know the behind the scenes, you know that Alicia Fox got into Ronda Rousey's husband's face around WrestleMania weekend, and there was some real heat there. Now, yes, since that's been squashed backstage and there's no heat between Alicia and Ronda now, but you can kind of play off that in real life storyline-wise if you're a smart fan. Other than that, you don't have a lot to go on or go off of with Alicia versus Ronda. Other than last week, Alicia Fox helps Alexa Bliss a little bit and roughs up Ronda Rousey. But that's it. So I understand the main event wasn't epic. It was meant to be a squash match for Ronda Rousey. That's all it was. When people spend the 40, 50, 60 bucks for UFC, whatever the fuck it is, and they watched a Ronda Rousey fight, they knew that it might only go 10 seconds, but they were willing to pay that much money because they wanted to see Ronda Rousey be the badass she is. That's all last night was about. The main event started at 11:03 p.m. Eastern Time. 11:03. You knew it wasn't gonna go that long. Nor would you want it to. What needed to happen last night happened. If Alicia Fox got 3 or 4 minutes of offense on Ronda Rousey, that would be unrealistic and absolute utter bullshit. That would have pissed me off to the 10th degree. But no, Ronda Rousey squashed Alicia Fox. And you got people out there going, it was sloppy though. It was stiff, BC. That was sloppy and stiff. I don't know about that. What the fuck are you? You are the people that are honestly gonna keep digging the grave of the WWE. And pro wrestling in general, for that matter. We finally get an epic fucking character in Ronda Rousey. Isn't that what you wanted in Nia Jax? When Nia Jax debuted, you saw this beast and you're like, she's gotta plow through everybody. We gotta make her a superstar. Then she started getting 50-50 booking and then less than that. And now Nia Jax is far from a beast, far from a monster. They ruined that. Asuka had this undefeated streak. She was a beast. She was a monster. You didn't want her to fucking look like a weakling, right? And then they 50-50 booked her. Now she's even worse. They ruined her. Who do you want as a fucking... You claim you want to build a superstar. You claim you want badasses. But then when one goes out there and does it, you sit there and you count botches and you count sloppiness and you count stiffness. Get the fuck out of here! How do you expect to build fucking superstars when you got a fan base like that? No, there's a fucking, Ronda. First match ever on fucking Raw on national fucking television, one-on-one. Oh, let's counter stiffness and her sloppiness. It's Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. Were you expecting a Dave Meltzer imaginary star match? Maybe you wanted to give it 3, 4, 5, 6, 716 stars? It's Ronda versus Alicia Fox. Did I say Alexa Bliss before? My bad, if I did. If I didn't, I'm losing my fucking mind anyway. But then again, Monday Night Raw will do that. That's one of the warning signs of watching Monday Night Raw every week. You might lose your fucking brain cells. It's Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox. What do you expect? It ain't gonna be a fucking classic. It's starting at 11:03 p.m. Eastern Time. There's only a few minutes left in the show. You know this is going to be a straight-up squash. Could it have been better? Absolutely! No question, man. But be happy we got them building up Ronda almost in the right way. Again, this to me, if I'm booking, it's even more of a squash. Less than 2 minutes. I would have had her beat Alicia Fox in 1 minute. Less than a minute. Boom, boom, kick, take her down, snap that arm, it's done. Because that's all Alicia Fox was used for anyway. To get over Ronda. It was a jobber match. But when it's done, man, to sit back and just go, well, too stiff for me, too sloppy for me. No, the whole show was sloppy. The whole show sucked. Ronda Rousey beating the fuck out of somebody is the one good thing we got. And that's what everyone wants to complain about today. Come on! You claim you want to build shit. Of course it could have been done better. I agree. I could have personally done that segment 100 times better. But I didn't once, during that fucking whole 5 to 7 minute match segment, did I once fucking sit back and go, oh, sloppy, stiff. No. I was cueing in on Ronda Rousey and what should be being done. And that is her being the badass and Alicia Fox falling to that badass. That is what was accomplished. awkward moments? Yeah, of course there was. How about after the match? Ronda Rousey's doing an interview with who? Charlie Caruso? One of them motherfuckers. And Natalia's even in the ring. So you have Natalya and Ronda, and now is the time Alexa chooses to attack Ronda from behind with Natalya right there. That didn't make any sense. And then Alexa Bliss actually goes to attack Ronda, but Ronda takes her fucking arm and slingshots her right over her shoulder. Takes down Alexa in a blink of an eye. That was a badass takedown. But it was at an awkward time. Because Alexa Bliss's character is always running away. She chooses that time with two individuals. Yes, their backs were turned, but you only went to attack Ronda, so Natalya would have at least gotten you. That didn't make sense. But at least Ronda snapped her down with the quickness. That was a badass takedown. And then Ronda had her fucking groove, man. Stella had her groove. You saw that look in her eyes. She ran over to Charlie Cruz. She grabs the microphone. She yells out to Alexa, Alexa, no matter how bad or how tightly you hold on to that championship, it's coming with me, SummerSlam. That was the most fucking confident I've seen Ronda Rousey on that microphone when she delivered that line to Alexa. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. Oh, Ronda had some confidence there on that mic there, but it looked like Ronda had the steam, the self-esteem, the mojo was kicking, not Rowley, but her mojo. It was kicking last night, BC. Did you see that ending? Ronda felt like she had her groove, man. It looked that way. Nobody's saying that. No, it was sloppy, BC. I don't know about that. I wanted Ronda and Alicia Fox to be amazing, BC. Yes, that's it. Shut up! Don't ruin it for me, motherfucker. This has been a tragic 10 to 15 years in WWE for the Amplified Man. If you guys liked it, that's cool. If you guys love John Cena era, and you're loving the Roman Reigns era, if that's you, cool. As a pro wrestling fan, and especially WWE for the last 30 plus years, the last 10 to 15 have been tragic. And it just seems to be getting worse. For me, that's a personal opinion. So when I see somebody like Ronda Rousey, this is why I initially loved Brock Lesnar coming back, because they bring that real big fight feeling to us, the fans, to that arena, to their opponent, because they are big time, big fight feel people. They go in there and they kick ass. They're not scared. They're not worried about being stiff. Yes, they don't want to hurt their opponent, but they're gonna go out there and they're gonna fuck shit up. It's just the way of the business with some real big fight feel, actual tough guys and tough ladies. There's real people in this world, right? We're going into this real, the alpha male is like a dying breed, right? And I don't understand that because there still is really tough guys out there that'll bash you in your fucking mouth when you look at them the wrong way or say something indifferent. They'll do that because they're tough. There just is. Not everybody is a Brooklyn hipster. Not everybody is singing Kumbaya underneath a rainbow and going to the next protest that seems to be the hip trend. There are tough motherfuckers that got up at 5 a.m. and they don't get home from work until 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. And after they shower and get their fucking affairs in order, they get to kiss their fucking wife or girlfriend goodnight at about 10 or 11 o'clock just to do it all again at 5 a.m. the next day. Brock Lesnar brings that feel like when he gets in that ring, I don't give a fuck about you. I'm fucking shit up. I'm taking my paycheck. I'm taking my strap, and I'm the fuck out of here. But I'll be the first to admit, they started to book him non-existently. The contract became a huge problem. We didn't even see Brock Lesnar for the longest time. And that's when I finally made a video and said, now it's bullshit. That strap needs to be taken off him. And everyone's like, BC, it should have been taken off of him fucking when he first got it, BC. No. I'm okay with him showing up 4 or 5 pay-per-views out of the year. Once or twice per contract. But then they started getting carried away, man. Then you started having him look like a complete bum in that ring. And losing at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Getting thrown through the cage, but his feet didn't actually touch the floor. That's a bogus ending. Brock Lesnar should be fucking up Roman Reigns. Not getting fucking awkward, did he really win, did he not win type scenarios. No, that's not Brock. Brock Lesnar is a badass in real life. And so many fans today want him to come to WWE and just be another guy. Just earn your way, Brock. Hey, Hey, Brock, you gotta prove he doesn't have to prove shit to you. Because he can fuck you up, and he can go in there and fuck up 99.99% of the roster. Because he's really badass. Oh, don't believe the hype, BC. He's all hype. He can fucking break you. Trust me. Lesnar is all worth the hype. The hype was created for a reason. Same thing with Ronda Rousey. The hype was created for a reason. And she beats everybody up in UFC. And then when she finally loses a couple, everyone goes, see, it was all hype. Everyone has caught up to Ronda. Women are getting stronger. They're getting smarter. They're training the right way. Now you have different styles that are coming in. So Ronda would have gotten beat up. She would have gotten beaten up if these ladies were there before. But they weren't. To evolve, you have to have something to evolve from. Ronda Rousey was a trailblazer for people to actually start infiltrating into UFC and all these different styles and females training differently and becoming more of a badass. To do that, you have to learn from somebody. It was Ronda. She was the pioneer. And you got fucking dumb fucks that go, it was all hype. She just never took on the right competitors that could have fucked her up. She was beating up human beings in seconds. You call it hype. I call it a badass motherfucker. So she gets over to the main roster, and you still have fans like, she's gotta be treated like everyone else and prove herself. She should be just one of the ladies, BC. Fuck that shit. She's above and beyond. She's a legit badass. She brings that big fight feeling to that ring. And that's what she did last night. She brought that big fight feeling. You felt the energy from the crowd. I felt it in my own fucking bones last night. My pulse got up for the first time in all of Monday Night Raw. I was at the edge of my seat. My pulse was going. Now, sure, I could have booked it 100 times better and made it more exciting and made more of a cliffhanger at the end. But at least for one moment in a 3+ hour show, my pulse was going. And there was only one superstar that did that for me last night. And her name, not him, her name was Ronda Rousey. That's the only superstar last night that got me hyped. That made me actually sit up in my seat for a minute and go, all right, Ronda, this should be fucking good. And just watching Ronda Rousey sling across Alicia Fox. That's how you book Ronda, man. I would have booked her even better. I wouldn't have had it as awkward. But I'm not this morning talking about sloppy and stiff. On a show that was beyond sloppy and stiff. But Ronda Rousey, the one bright part. And that oozing confidence when she grabbed that mic at the end of Raw last night. Nobody wants to talk about her doing that. Ronda Rousey beating the fuck out of Alicia Fox. Nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about sloppiness. Fucking A, man. And then you wonder why the product is shit. Because you have wannabe smart fans, right? Wannabe. It's not the smart fans that kill the product. We just know the behind the scenes. We know the ins and outs. We know people that are in the business. A lot of us smart fans. It's the wannabe smart fans. The one that go on social media. Or they watch people like me. They think they're fucking getting this wisdom within themselves. It's not just listening and trying to get smarter. They just watch a video and they're like, I have the wisdom to now go out and tell everybody how it's done. So they start hearing shit from everybody and they start regurgitating the same bullshit. It was sloppy. I heard it from other people. There was a podcaster that said so. I don't give a fuck who said so. You want the real fucking deal, you come to the Amplified, man. I'm always gonna give it to you 100. But it's the wannabe smart fans that start saying all this weird shit. Like, you deserve it to somebody who's been on the main roster for like 9 months. But they were 2 years in NXT whooping ass, BC. They deserve this. No, they don't deserve shit. The ones that are fucking... The ones that are over there that say, oh, well, she's got to earn her way, or he's got to earn his way. Earn what? What are you fucking talking about? Earn his way. Do you know Ronda Rousey is in commercials? She's snapping in the Twizzlers. She's going to be in Mile 22, a big movie with Mark Wahlberg. No, she's not going to be treated like everyone. Get the fuck out of here. And even if you wanted her to, she stole the show at WrestleMania. She was the match of the night at Extreme fucking Rules. Ronda Rousey, whatever she touches, it turns to fucking gold because she's just brilliant at what she does. Facts. You don't gotta like it. Fucking deal with it. Wanna be smart fans. Going, sloppy match. I'm gonna go on Twitter and tell everybody, sloppy match. Stiff as fuck. I don't like it, basically. No, that's tough shit for you, man, because you're trying to bring down the one badass star that is actually being created semi-right in Ronda Rousey. You want to bring her down of all people. You want to bash the way they're booking her. At least she is fucking winning. At least she does look like a badass. Can't say the same for everybody else, can we? And a little correction too, not match of the night at Extreme Rules. Ronda Rousey had one of the performances of the night. The match, I mean, it's like Alicia and Ronda. It's Nia and Ronda. How much do you honestly think they can really do together? But it is what it is, man. Monday Night Raw is Rousey. Raw is Rousey, man, and Rousey is Raw. And that's so good to see, man. A superstar actually being fucking built. A badass superstar. That's all I fucking want, man, is superstars to be created. Badass superstars. People that are better than others. In a world of 50-50 booking now, where everybody loses a few, wins a few, loses a few, wins a few. And you have people like Bailey that go on podcasts like Stone Cold's podcast and go, I want everyone to have the championship. I think everybody deserves a turn. We all deserve a piece of the pie. Oh, fucking A, man. What a kumbaya, rainbow-filled, cupcake-induced world you live in. I don't want any part of your world. Everybody busts their ass. There are just some people that are better than others, and there's other people that might not even be better, but they need to be booked as such because they have a fucking character and a presence. It doesn't matter what the situation or scenario calls for. If the situation and scenario calls for something more epic, you need to look into that and find a way to produce it. Simple as that. When Giant Gonzalez came to the main roster, he had the skill level of a Skittle. But you still had to put him in there with The Undertaker because he was Giant Gonzalez. The guy was like 100 feet tall. That's what I mean. The scenario alone set up that match. The scenario is you had a guy walk in that's 100 feet tall to Stamford, Connecticut. Of course, you sign him and you don't make him start at the bottom. You put him in there with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 9. Doesn't matter if the match sucked. Of course the match sucked. He had the skill level of a Skittle. But it's Giant fucking Gonzalez. When Nails the Inmate came into the storyline with the Big Boss Man, did Nails deserve that spot that quick with the Big Boss Man? Probably not. But he had that look and a voice and a presence that you said you would fit good with the Boss Man. And he bypassed everyone else. And he got that nightstick match with the Big Boss Man. What was that, fucking Survivor Series? I can come up with 100 different scenarios, guys. Yokozuna, former fucking multi-time champion in WWE. The guy was like 500 plus pounds. He's not gonna put on imaginary 30-star matches. But he's 500 plus pounds. His presence, his aura. The situation called for him going right to the fucking main events and winning championships. Sometimes you just have to create stars because they fall in your lap. That's my point. We have no superstars. Braun Strowman looks like he's about to be it, and then all of a sudden they just bring him back. They give him 2 steps, they take him back 10 steps. They give him 4 inches, they take him back 37 inches. They give him 2 feet, they take him back 9 feet. They can't build a superstar. One time, Braun Strowman he's in there with Brock Lesnar. Next day, he's winning a Money in the Bank lunchbox. The next minute, He's in a comedy act with Kevin Owens and Jinder Mahal. What is Braun Strowman? He's just protecting his lunchbox. What are you doing with Braun? You're too busy calling an Alicia Fox match sloppy and stiff, and Ronda Rousey's very first one-on-one match on Monday Night Raw sloppy and stiff against Alicia Fox, but you won't call out the other bullshit. Braun Strowman, what is he doing in this story? I have no fucking idea. It was great to see I tell you guys all this all the time. I cannot say this enough. I'm sorry if I'm sounding redundant. But anytime they do an interview segment by the staging area and create their own stage, up on the ramp or toward or next to the ramp, that is always a special feel. Because for an old-time wrestling fan like me, that's where they used to do the interviews. Mean Gene Okerlund would do it up where they come out, the entranceway. And there would be a separate podium where you would do interviews. And it felt special because you were away from the ring. I tell you guys a million times, a lot of stories need to be built outside of the ring, away from the ring. Get us away from there for a minute. Too much of that fucking ring on a 3+ hour show. You need to get creative. You need to take us away from the ring and create more epic shit on a different podium. Backstage, in the parking lot, in the street, at a local bar like the AOP used to fucking be in, or Stone Cold, and he'd show up at a fucking bar room. Shit, I once saw Booker T and Stone Cold Steve Austin beat the shit out of each other in a supermarket. They got creative. Somebody sat down and said, let's take it out of the ring. Let's go to a fucking supermarket. Booker T and Stone Cold beat the fuck out of each other in a fucking supermarket. That's a fact. Nowadays, everything's just in the ring. There's no more creativity. You want to build a storyline? Let's put them all. There's a big pay-per-view in 6 weeks. Let's put all the participants in the same match every week. And then at the pay-per-view, we'll just do the same match. So by then, everyone will be used to everyone together. What the fuck? Braun Strowman had this, it was the Kevin Owens show, and it was good to see because he had his own little podium next to the stage, had the Kevin Owens show. It felt different. It felt original. It was a good new vibe. I like that shit. SmackDown was doing that for a few weeks, and then they stopped. I remember Big Cass was in an interview. Was it Renee Young who was interviewing him, I believe? And it was a separate podium next to the stage. I love that shit. But that's where it fucking went wrong. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens' guest was Jinder Mahal, but somehow it went back to Kevin Owens and how he's going to capture the Money in the Bank lunchbox at SummerSlam from Braun. All of a sudden, the podium starts shaking, the whole Kevin Owens show stage, and it gets turned upside down by Braun Strowman. Now you say, BC, at least they got creative with that, right? That would have been epic if the Kevin Owens show was up at that separate podium for at least 4 or 5 weeks beforehand. But the very first week that you have Kevin Owens in this new podium, Braun Strowman is already ruining the stage. That makes it look like it was planted there just for Braun to flip it over. See what I'm saying? If that staging area was there 4, 5, 6 weeks beforehand and we're used to it now, and it's, oh shit, they're going to the Kevin Owens show, and all of a sudden this fucking podium, this staging area starts getting flipped upside down, much more epic, and it doesn't look so staged. But the very first week you have this new staging podium for the Kevin Owens show, and Braun's already terrorizing it. Ah, man. And it doesn't do much for the weeks coming up. If they're going to continue that for the Kevin Owens show, well, now you can't really have epic shit like that happening up there. Otherwise, it's just a redundant weekly thing. It won't be as epic. Hope you're keeping track, man. I wouldn't have done that soon. But yeah, at least they did get somewhat creative. It just looks way too staged now. It was the first time we saw that staging setup, and Braun's hiding underneath of it already. Too staged for me anyway. But at least they did get creative, because after that, wow, did that turn to shit. It was like Jinder Mahal versus Braun Strowman again, and Braun Strowman ends up getting disqualified because he slams the lunchbox into Jinder Mahal's I was going to say head, but they can't do headshots anymore. I don't even know what the fuck it was. Braun Strowman got disqualified by using his lunchbox because Kevin Owens came down to the ring and tried to steal the lunchbox. And Braun is holding it as tight as Alexa Bliss was holding on to her championship at the end of Raw. Braun Strowman is holding on to that lunchbox. You're not getting my juice box. You're not getting my chocolate chip cookies. And you will not get my peanut butter and fluff. Fuck that shit. So this is going to lead to what? What now? Fucking Kevin Owens and Braun in the winter. Hopefully Kevin Owens just gets the briefcase at SummerSlam so Braun can get rid of that lunchbox because he doesn't need it. Braun Strowman sliding in to cash in a Money in the Bank lunchbox for him at an opportunity time where somebody's down and out, that doesn't fit Braun's character. Braun Strowman should be winning the championship man-to-man, face-to-face, or he's really tall, so fucking chest-to-face. Braun Strowman should be winning that one-on-one straight up. Braun Strowman doesn't need to sneak in when somebody just had a long match for a shock pop reaction and beat somebody who was already just beaten up previously. Braun, that doesn't fit his character. He's not a snake. Kevin Owens would be better utilized with that, and he could utilize the briefcase much better. And it could turn a lunchbox back into a briefcase. I just don't know, but at least Mahal is picking up 2 victories in a row, man. You guys know I like Jinder Mahal. He picked up a count-out victory last week against Braun. This week he picks up a DQ victory. I don't know what he does for SummerSlam. He can't cost Strowman the match because then what happens after SummerSlam? More Strowman versus Mahal? We've been seeing this every week. So they failed to really... My whole point here is they failed to really make Braun Strowman a superstar. He's lost in flux, lost in limbo. He's 50-50. Losing a couple weeks in a row now. Count out. The next week, disqualification. Sure, he's not getting pinned, but he ain't winning either. His stock isn't going up. Are you getting any more interested in Braun Strowman, his character, and who he is as a superstar the last month? No, me neither. That briefcase, that lunchbox did shit for him. The booking is even doing less shit for him. So, what now? You guys want to go to Sasha Banks and Bayley? I refuse to call them by their tag team name because A, I don't even fucking know the actual name, and B, I just know it sounds corny as fuck. And I know I don't want to think of who was once the legit boss, Sasha Banks. I don't want to think of her in this way. I don't even know who this Sasha Banks is, to be honest. But listen, Sasha Bayley taking on the Riot Squad for the 978th time. We're almost coming to 1,000 times, guys. Riot Squad, Sasha and Bayley every week in some form or capacity. Oh man, if you're not excited when Riot Squad takes on Sasha and Bayley every single week, I don't know what you're fucking doing wrong. Why are you watching it the way you're watching it? Your pulse isn't going when Sasha Bayley takes on the Riot Squad every week? How is that not entertaining to you? And what's more laughable is they actually announced it like it was a big match way before Raw. Kurt Angle sent out an Instagram the day before on Sunday, announcing to everybody that a huge match has been announced for Raw. Riot Squad taking on Sasha and Bayley. Never seen it before. You gotta tune in. Oh, wait. We did put that together again. 977 other times! So, that is what happened. We got that matchup, and it's exactly what I thought it was. It was Sasha Banks tag teaming with Bayley. For the next 6 months, maybe a year, who the fuck knows? BC, this is only because Ronda Rousey is getting the main spotlight and they want to keep Sasha relevant, BC. So they're putting her in the tag team with Bayley, and don't worry, BC, they're going to get tag team championships down the line, BC. So this will keep her relevant. Relax, BC. Next year, they'll start something with Sasha. What are you fucking... This is what fans were telling me. Fans. People were trying to convince me And I don't care if this sounds egotistical or conceited. I don't. I am much more smarter than the average fan. That is obvious. And if you want the truth, this is really going to sound egotistical. Yes, I believe I'm the smartest one in this whole community. Most times. I honestly feel that way when I see the stupidity that's spewing out of people's fucking mouth. So when I see people trying to convince me that this is the best way to use Sasha because Ronda's getting the top spot, I don't know if I want to just laugh hysterically or just literally puke out my fifth story window. I don't know. Maybe both. Maybe laugh hysterically, then puke off my fifth story window. Because let me tell you this, that is not the best way to use Sasha Banks. You're telling me you cannot think of a good storyline and good storylines for Sasha Banks? It has nothing to do with the championship. You're telling me you can't put her in good one-on-one storylines. She's not worth it, is what you're telling me. So your best case scenario is what WWE is doing. We'll put her in a tag team with Bayley, and they'll get these imaginary tag team championships that are coming in a few months. Most likely at Evolution. That's your best case scenario? What makes you think a tag team division is gonna be any fucking good? You could put 10 tag team championships on Sasha and Bayley. That's not gonna make them relevant. That'll put them in some fucking mysterious fucking record book down the road. A WWE first ever tag champion, Sasha Bayley. Okay. And they got some shiny new toys. That's not relevance because they're just gonna take on the Riot Squad 198 more times. They're gonna take on teams like Nia and Alicia Fox. Teams like Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. A couple of NXT call-ups together. Some brand switching. And you'll get Billie Kay and Peyton Royce will be a tag team against Sasha. None of that is in the least bit the way you use Sasha Banks correctly. None of it. Sasha fucking Banks we're talking about has to dumb herself down to Bayley's level so they can be a tag team for the next 6 months to a year at least to be in a fucking nonsensical tag team division. But don't worry, BC, they're gonna be champions. And this is it. This is you said, you fans that came to me and said, don't worry, BC, this is the thing. Like, I didn't see what was happening, by the way. Thank you for telling me Ronda's gonna be in the top spot. Thanks for telling me that. And thanks for telling me they don't have anything for Sasha. Thank you. I needed you to tell me that. Oh, thank goodness I have you guys telling me. Get the fuck out of here. Unfucking real. People honestly thought they were informing me that Ronda is gonna be the next. Thank you. Thanks so much. I didn't know that. I didn't see that's the way they were going. And then you sit there and you honestly believe this is the best use of Sasha Banks. It's definitely the best use for Bayley. Bayley was in obscurity anyway. Bayley has been shit since she's got to the main roster. This is a shell of what Bayley once was in NXT. So for Bayley, she gets everything in this tag team. She gets to literally be the happiest fucking in the world because this is relevance for her. For Sasha, this is a demotion in the highest ways. This is like owning your own franchise McDonald's. You own the McDonald's, like that one place, right? It's a franchise. So you own this one McDonald's building. And you got fired, and you got reduced to, or fucking fired from that position. You got reduced to flipping the burgers. So you were once the owner of the whole place. You were the boss, and now you're flipping the burgers and getting yelled at by the customers because you forgot a fucking pickle. Sasha Banks goes from Hell in a Cell matches to fucking with Charlotte and fucking 4-time champion. Again, if you put them all together, it equals about fucking 6 weeks maybe. But to a tag team against the same team every single week. If you don't see a problem in that, it's amazing. And there's accounts out there. There's like Twitter accounts and fucking there's people that are like a Boss Connection or whatever the tag team is, hugging society, whatever the fuck the tag team name is, and they're embracing this. They're loving it. They think this is actually something. All they did was put Sasha with Bayley. They've been a team the past several months against the Riot Squad. But there was just an underlining story where they were kind of bickering. But they were still taking on the Riot Squad every week, a couple months ago. So you weren't happy when they were a tag team then. Now all of a sudden, because they gave themselves a funky little knockoff name of the Rock and Sock team, now all of a sudden, you're embracing them. Your Twitter handle has changed. Your little profile picture is of Bayley and Sasha, and you're trying to tell everybody why this is being done. Thank you! Seriously, thank you! For your insight, for your brilliance in the business, for telling me, the Amplified Man, why this is being done, why Sasha Banks is in a tag team with Bayley. Thank you so fucking much. I'd be lost without you fucking brilliant wannabe smart fans telling me why this is being done. There is no reason why this should be done. Sasha and Bayley was actually being built to be something special for SummerSlam. Something that should have been at WrestleMania. Something that should have been last year's feud. But we were still going to be invested. And they started it and they stopped it. And they started and they stopped it. They got it hot, they got it cold. They got it hot, they got it cold. And then they just settled in after some weird-ass awkward counseling sessions. They settled in to this weird, stupid-ass tag team. Because they're going to be tag team champions and they don't have anything anyway for Sasha BC. So this is the best case scenario. Yeah, well now, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That's the saying I like to tell people. You really thought that was best for business for Sasha, didn't you? Guess what? Then you were the people that created what we got last night again. Riot Squad versus Bayley and Sasha. Congratulations. Did you love it? Did you enjoy it? Of course not. You think that's it? Ruby Riott came back last night. We should be excited. Ruby Riott is actually good. And I actually, if you watch this channel from day one, especially from when Ruby Riott debuted onto the scene, NXT and main roster, you know I'm high on Ruby Riott. But her debut was lost in the shuffle. That was awkward as fuck. She takes out Bayley. We think the camera was totally out of whack. We didn't know if she took out Bayley. Did she just push aside Liv Morgan? We didn't know what the fuck happened. She just comes out in a black hoodie, unzips it, and it's Ruby Riott. Next thing you know, Logan is pinning Sasha Banks square in the middle of the ring in a roll-up. The same shit we were seeing months ago. Now they're official tag team. It's the same shit. I'm always right. When are you going to realize that shit? Don't sit there and try to explain shit to me. I see what's happening way in advance. I'm not just going week to week like WWE wants its sheep to do. I'm way in advance. I'm advancing my own booking, how I would book it, and I'm advancing how the stupid-ass booking for WWE is booking it. But I'm way down the road. I see what's going to happen. And now that Ruby Riott came back, this is just going to continue. Next week, we're going to see more Bayley, Sasha, Riot Squad bullshit. This time, maybe Ruby Riott is one of the participants. Next week. But it's going to be the same shit. And then SummerSlam, it's going to be some variation of the Riot Squad and Sasha and Bayley. That's it. And then after SummerSlam, what? There's going to be some stupid mixture tag team taking on Bayley and Sasha. So what's the other fucking side of it? Oh, BC, this will set up horsewomen versus horsewomen. I think that is so stupid too. They could go that route. That still doesn't mean I need to see Bayley and Sasha as a tag team, or Becky Lynch and Charlotte over on SmackDown. And if you're building up Ronda Rousey to be a top star, and you know Charlotte is a fucking top face, and you know Bayley and Sasha, you're trying to build them. I guess you're trying, right? I'll put that in quotes. To build them as faces, and they're going out and they're giving little kids their sunglasses, their little boss glasses, right? So they're faces. Now what? You have faces versus Ronda Rousey, who's a face. That's your big evolution match. 4-on-4, four faces. And then what? Shayna Baszler is a top heel in NXT. So now this heel is going to work with this babyface Ronda Rousey, and we're supposed to forget about that and just believe that they're just friends? Because they are just friends, right? In real life, they're friends. But character-wise, they should not be next to each other. Baszler and Ronda Rousey are way different in their careers right now. So I wouldn't buy that either. So the only thing left for Sasha and Bayley that you're going to tell me is down the road they're going to break up BC. And eventually we're going to get Bayley versus Sasha finally. I don't give a fuck anymore. That's done. I don't want to see Sasha and Bayley anymore. They ruined it. SummerSlam was the final stop for me. It should have been months ago. It should have been WrestleMania. It should have been even before Mania. Should have been last year's WrestleMania with the strap on the line. But SummerSlam was the deadline for the Amplified Man. I no longer need to or want to see Bayley and Sasha down the road. I can give a fuck about the breakup. I can give a fuck about this tag team. I just want them separated. Because this is what I knew was going to happen. Everybody thought this was going to be something epic. They're a tag team now. They're going to be used in the most epic of ways. They're going to get championships. But who is their opponents, guys? You didn't think it through, did you? They're going to have matches like that every week. If that's the case, I'd rather Sasha just be on her own and having nonsensical storylines. Come on! Common sense! It's the one thing I ask of you guys. Use it! That women's tag division will be no better, not even close, and that's not saying anything at all, than the men's tag division, which is already in the shits. Looks like we're gonna have a triple threat tag match at SummerSlam because there is no viable tag teams. They gotta throw a bunch of tag teams. There's no real fucking tag teams in this division. They already killed the AOP. They're fucking dancing around with Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews for the last fucking 2 months. Looking like clowns. It looks like they can barely beat the fucking Titus Worldwide. Last week, they actually lost again, one-on-one, right? Fucking Apollo, I think, defeated one of the AOP motherfuckers. Last night, thankfully, the other AOP motherfucker defeated Titus. I forgot which was even which, who was who in the AOP, because it's nonsensical. They ain't even booking them the right way, so I forgot who won and who lost, and it doesn't matter. You don't even gotta type it down below. BC, it was such and such. I don't care. They're playing around with Titus Worldwide, and meanwhile, you have the B team, the Leaders of Worlds, and the Revival all playing fiddlesticks with each other. That's going to be your match at SummerSlam. It looks like it's going to be a triple threat tag team match, and nobody wants to see the fucking Revival in there. Nobody wants to see the Leaders of World anymore. Break them up, because that has been a disaster clusterfuck. Something that should have been epic has been a disaster. But that fits with the whole tag team division. The B team, I had high hopes for. They were funny at first. I love the fact that they were on a winning streak, but now you just see booking being booking, creative being uncreative. Every week, it's just these three teams somehow schmozzing it up together. Back in the day, guys, to build a story, you would actually build a story. There's a concept. I'm going to say that again. To build a story, you would actually build a story. WWE thinks building a storyline and getting us to the pay-per-view match just means throwing them all together every week. Every week, these people are mixing it up against each other, so by the pay-per-view, we no longer have to see what's going to happen because we know what they can do in the ring together. How many times do you need to see Dolph and Seth in the same ring together? It doesn't matter how many different ways. One-on-one, we've already seen it a bunch of times. Tag team match, Seth Rollins and somebody else versus McIntyre and Dolph, we've seen it. Handicap match last night. Dolph, McIntyre. Fucking against Seth. Okay, how many different times? Next week, we'll see Seth and Dolph mixing it up again somehow, so that by SummerSlam, we don't need to see it anymore! Nobody wants to see it! SummerSlam, your second biggest pay-per-view of the fucking year. Your Intercontinental Championship. And it's with two guys who we have been seeing fight each other every week for 2 straight months. Sounds epic! What do you mean this story isn't intriguing you? I wonder why. Every week, the same fucking teams, and we're gonna see this for SummerSlam. The Riot Squad and the fucking Sasha and Bayley. Every week, until SummerSlam, they meet again. Revival, B Team, the Leaders of Worlds. Every week, they're mixing it up against each other until SummerSlam, where they mix it up some more. Dolph, Seth, every week, mixing it up until SummerSlam. They mix it up some more. You see what I'm saying? SummerSlam is nothing more than a Raw or a SmackDown. SummerSlam is just another Raw. It's matches that we've either already have seen, most of them numerous times, or shit that we would see on Monday Night Raw. The SummerSlam card, and it's not just SummerSlam, Extreme Rules, I can go down the line. Every pay-per-view you think of nowadays, it's all just a glorified Raw or a glorified SmackDown. Because there's no more suspense in the matchups. We no longer need to see what's going to happen in these matches. If you honestly tell me you're excited and pumped up to see Dolph versus Seth, you got a screw loose, man. If you're telling me you're excited to see the B Team versus the Revival versus the Deleters of Worlds, you got a couple screws loose, man. And if you're telling me you're excited to see the Revival versus Sasha and Bayley for the 900th millionth time, then you definitely got multiple screws loose. There's no fucking way you could be excited for any of it. Strowman and Owens, this story has excited you to the point where you need to see what happens at SummerSlam? It's bullshit. Every week, it's the same people in the fucking ring. That's why I tell you guys you need to bring back jobber matches. I would have much rather have seen Seth Rollins taking on a jobber. After 4 minutes, Seth Rollins wins the match, but fucking McIntyre comes through the crowd like he's gonna jump Seth, but Seth catches him, and Seth outsmarts him. He welcomes in the ring, but McIntyre wants none of it. So Rollins dives out of the ring, but he's got his eye on McIntyre, and he's like, I got you. I fucking see you. You ain't gonna get one up on me. And as he's going up the ramp, Dolph attacks him from behind. You have a beatdown up at the rampway for a couple of minutes, and you take off. Yes, we've seen shit like that so many times, but I would rather that than just see them wrestling every week in some form or variation. A handicap match one week, a tag team match the next week, one-on-one straight up for a couple of weeks. And then at SummerSlam, it's the same fucking match. Get creative. Make us give a fuck. Nothing on Raw is doing that to get us excited for SummerSlam. It's the same shit every fucking week. It's redundancy at its highest form. Elias and Bobby Lashley is so fucking bad, that story. I forgot about it in last week's review. How could I forget about that? Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet. Bobby Lashley is singing Rockin' Robin after defeating Roman Reigns 2 weeks earlier. Can't make that shit up. This week, they're filming a documentary for Elias, and Bobby Lashley comes out. It would have been one of the more entertaining segments if it just wasn't awful. Just fucking awful. Lashley and Elias for SummerSlam. Fucking excited! Hold my intrigue. I can't time. You gotta tie me down. I can't fucking hold myself down. I'm so excited for Elias and Bobby Lashley. Roman Reigns starts off the show with Kurt Angle begging him not to suspend Brock. Don't worry. Don't worry, Roman. He's not suspended. And you're going to have a match with Baron Corbin right now. So Baron Corbin takes on Roman Reigns in a match that was over 20 minutes. Now that's awesome for Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin ended up losing this match, by the way. So he goes the distance a little bit, but he loses anyway. So I don't know what that says for Baron Corbin. But for Roman Reigns, you're about to take on Brock fucking Lesnar, and you need 25 minutes to beat Baron fucking Constipated Corbin? The constipated one? 25 minutes, you should be beating Constipated Corbin 17 times, 17 different ways from the sun. 25 minutes almost for Roman to finally beat the Constipated one. And then fucking Finn Balor comes out, does a coup de grace afterwards to Constipated. So not only did Constipated lose the match, he then gets beat up by Finn Balor, who Constipated calls the small one. So okay, he gets beat, and then the small one takes him out too. So a double-decker blow for Constipated Corbin. And now we're going to see Constipated Corbin versus Finn Balor at SummerSlam! Another rematch! Are you excited? BC, you gotta relax and enjoy the show. Okay, I'll do that. I'll just fucking I'll digest everything that they're feeding me. Oh, rematch. Okay, rematch at SummerSlam. 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 Can I be a little critical? Can I do it? Oh no, just sit back and be okay. I'll enjoy the show. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy summer. It's gonna be the best SummerSlam ever! Redundant slam. Rematch slam. That's all this is. It's rematch slam. Top executives sat around a boardroom table with Vince, and they all came up with these master plans that Elias and Bobby Lashley was going to excite people. That constipated Corbin versus Finn Balor in a rematch was going to excite people. That Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler was going to excite people. That the Riot Squad versus Sasha and Bayley every week leading into SummerSlam and at SummerSlam will excite people. That the B-Team Revival and the Leaders of Worlds will excite people. All of these rematches. But BC, this could set up Dean Ambrose's return at SummerSlam to save Seth Rollins, right? It was a handicap match last night. The story is going to be that Seth Rollins cannot take on 2-on-1 every week. He needs somebody. And Stephanie won't let Roman be his partner. So Dean Ambrose is the perfect fit, BC, is it? You want Dean Ambrose after all of this time away to come back just to be Seth Rollins' bitch? You're probably the same people that want Sasha to be Bayley's bitch. Because that's all she's being right now. So Ambrose comes back and helps Seth win the championship. What? The only way I'm down with that is if immediately after he helps Seth win that belt, he takes him out with the dirty deeds. And this sets up Seth and Ambrose for that championship down the road. And you do that awesome Ambrose heel turn. Otherwise, what are we stuck with? The next 4 to 8 weeks, we're going to see Seth and Dean Ambrose in stupid, nonsensical tag team matches with Dolph and McIntyre after SummerSlam. Every week. Trust me, I'm seeing the future. And it's pretty fucking ugly if you're in the WWE bubble. I don't care about anything else. Paul Heyman had a teary-eyed promo. That was actually decent. He managed to deliver his message in a way that was not Paul... It wasn't Paul Heyman-esque. It was a different Paul Heyman, but he still delivered a good message. He pumped up Brock Lesnar, but that doesn't excite anybody, right? Because he's pumping up a guy who is sitting on his couch, not even watching the show anyway, according to him. So, they pigeonhole themselves, they put themselves in a hole, they put themselves in a pickle that they couldn't fight out of. So not even Paul Heyman can save that shit. Roman Reigns was cheered big time last night. Again, this is Florida. Florida is his biggest state as far as cheers. We saw that last week in Miami. Last night was Jacksonville. Outside of Florida, you don't hear cheers like that, but I am going to give the devil his credit and the devil his due. Roman Reigns got some badass cheers last night, and those cheers far outweighed the boos. I understand that, but I'm going to hold on to anything else that I'm going to say about that until they leave Florida. Next week on Raw and going forward, then I'll speak more about that. But everyone's asking me what I think about those cheers. Let's leave Florida and then we'll see. But that was definitely huge reaction-wise for Roman Reigns. There was that one girl that like psyched him out. She was going to slap his hand. Roman Reigns went to slap her hand and she's like, hell no! I thought that was rude as fuck. These wrestlers put themselves out there in front of you. And there's thousands of you, and there's only one of them or two of them in the ring, in a referee, or sometimes tag team. So 5 guys, the ref and 2 tag, whatever the fuck. But there's only a couple of them, thousands of you. He's slapping your hand. You ain't got to be a dickhead and psych him out and go, hell no, or fuck with him. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's a dickhead move. I'm all for telling Vince and sending Vince and Roman a message that we don't want your character. But that's kind of a dickhead move to the actual man himself, I feel. I think he dealt with it the right way. Roman was just like, whatever, and he gives her the little fucking, how you doing salute. You know what I mean? Like, rock on. Don't matter. Aloha. You know? It says more about your character than mine. So Roman Reigns handled himself like a gentleman there. Because that lady was a little bit out of line. It was fucking, I could see why people would think it's funny. I cringed a little because you should never be going to an event just to try to embarrass one of the performers. That's a fucking douchebag move. And that's exactly what she was. That was a douchebag move by a douchebag person. I said it! What? What are you gonna do? You're gonna cry? Good. Good. I said it. Douchebag. I said it! The Amplified Man! The Boogeyman! Run! Motherfucker, run! Cause you ain't gonna do shit. That's your Raw review reaction from the Amplified Man. It was a shit show from top to bottom with only one saving grace. And that is the new boss of Monday Night Raw, Ronda fucking Rousey. Keep that shit going. Take that strap on the 19th of August, Ronda. And we will see you where you should be. Whooping motherfuckers' asses left and right. I want to see her even beating up half the men roster. Because she damn well can. Amplified Man, we're going to get giant size, amplified size coffees. I'm beating the fuck out of motherfuckers today on this Tuesday. You better do the same. Wherever you are in this world, you beat the fuck out of Tuesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown's review reaction. For now, the Amplified Man will check you later.